So we're going to talk about some home buying secrets. And my first secret to you is that you should get a copy of your own credit report. If you go onto something like Equifax.com or TransUnion.com, you have the ability as a public citizen to get your own credit report. It's going to be important. You may not be able to know how to read it, but the fact that you have it, it should give you some explanation in English of how your credit stacks up. Now, the bank can certainly do this, but their report's a little different than yours, and it has terminology that you probably will not understand. And the important part about your credit report is something called a beacon score, and it will be highlighted in there what your beacon score is. Typically, most banks today are looking for something no less than 680 points to as much as 780 points. If you're within that range, you've got a very comfortable credit report. So you're going to want to have a pre-approval done for your mortgage. Now, there's some differences about the pre-approval. Not all financial institutions can give you a solid pre-approval. And now, basically, they're taking into consideration what you make, what you owe. There's some calculations. Usually, a rule of thumb is about 1/3 of your salary for housing. Now, this pre-approval basically is well, a commitment in some ways that says if you go out and find something when you're buying a house, we're glad to give you a mortgage. But there's a lot of little mice type that you have to read inside these particular reports. And in some cases, it doesn't include a copy of your credit report. So it'll say, subject to a credit report. And in some financial institutions, even after they've given you this pre-approval, it's just basically a guideline, not necessary a promise from them that they're going to give you the mortgage. So I've seen a few people that have been disappointed thinking that what they thought was an absolute commitment from the bank was really just a guideline. Okay, so now you're wondering as a buyer, how do I know I'm paying the right price for the property? I've seen the comparables and I've talked to the realtor and everybody's telling me, oh yeah, it's a great deal. But how do I know? Do you know that there's a report published by MPAC, which is the Municipal Assessment Office that usually kind of uses our tax bases? Well, they produce a report called an AVM, and it's an automatic valuation model, and it will show you, like a black book on a car, exactly how much on this particular address this house is worth at this point in time. It'll also show you if the property's in kind of disrepair, what a low confidence number is, and if it's in great shape or been all updated, what a high confidence number is. This report will also pull up 3 different comparables that are kind of an apple-to-apple comparison to this property to justify that value. So it's an independent report, it's aside from the home seller, aside from any of the listing agents or selling agents involved, and it's an excellent report to let you know as a guideline what you should be or could be paying for this house. Make sure you ask for it. Okay, so you're going to buy your first house and you're in love with the dream of the bungalow on the tree-lined street, just like mom and dad had. Now the reality is that I'm going to give you some information. What I'd like you to do, instead of picking a property, is to pick a price range. So if your comfort level is around the $300,000 range, have a look at a little bit of everything in that $300,000 range. If it's townhouses that you'd said, oh, I'd never live in one of those, or a semi-detached, or even a detached home, have a look at exactly what each of those price ranges will give you. You'll be surprised that you're going to be looking for amenities for the next 3 to 5 years while you live in that house. And that townhouse where you said, no way, I'd never live in it, is just perfect for your needs. Or you might just end up with mom and dad's house anyway. Okay, so buying your home is actually a team sport, and you're going to need a team of people around you. Normally, what happens is you find a realtor and they can provide you with the names of mortgage brokers, bankers, lawyers, home inspectors, etc. But I recommend always that you have your own collection of these people as well. People that you've checked out, you've investigated online, perhaps even had some conversations with. This way, you always have an A and a B alternative in the event that the referral you get from the realtor just doesn't mesh with who you are. I always say, when in doubt, check it out.